The Ombudsman for Banking Services is an alternative dispute resolution body. So what that means is that we are here as an alternative to the courts for any disputes that a consumer has against his or her bank. And what we do is we will accept those disputes, we will look into it, we'll investigate it, and we do it all free of charge. And we say we are independent because we are not here to be a consumer advocate, and we are also definitely not on the side of the bank. But we look at the law, we look at the facts, and then we give a fair and reasonable outcome based on the law and the facts. So if we look at the trends of the types of cases that we receive at the Banking Ombudsman, it is mostly internet banking complaints. The last 2 years, we've seen a huge jump because I think that is what consumers do. They use the internet banking platform more than anything else. They don't go into the branches as often. And then there's some issues with that. They fall victim to fraud. Those phishing emails, and they click on a phishing email, they give their details, even telephonically, they give their details away, and then they are victims of fraud. So we see a lot of complaints about internet banking. Second, credit card fraud. Again, fraud, sort of creeps into this. People are defrauded with their credit card details being compromised. And then we still see a lot of ATM complaints. People having issues when they are standing in front of the ATM trying to withdraw money. The other trends, we still see a steady trickle every month of a few mortgage complaints, motor vehicle finance, a few personal savings complaints. Those will be maybe about interest or fees, something else to do with those contracts. But literally any complaint of any nature against the bank, that is what we can look at and investigate. So how long does it take to resolve a dispute here at our office? Well, it can take anything from a day to maybe 4 months. We try and resolve all our matters within 4 months, but it all depends on when we send the dispute, the consumer's complaint, in writing to the bank, then they have to respond. And maybe they come back immediately and they resolve the complaint. They pay the money, they fix whatever the consumer wanted. So yes, there's no shortest time period. I'm sure there are cases that are resolved immediately, and then there are cases that take a bit longer. Those are, of course, the complicated matters where there's a lot of investigation, a lot of documents. But we do try within 4 months to at least resolve all our complaints. So if a consumer is not happy with the outcome, the original outcome from one of our adjudicators, so we have qualified lawyers who look into the matters and then they write an outcome, and we call that an assessment. If the consumer is not happy with that, he will raise that in writing and say that he doesn't agree, and hopefully he will have good reasons and maybe additional information, facts, documents that were not considered in the first instance. Or he will give reasons why he doesn't agree with that outcome. That matter will then be looked at again, and it will be escalated to a manager in the department. If the consumer is still unhappy, the matter can then be escalated to the Ombudsman, to myself, and we will look into it. But usually the matters are resolved after that second look, and it is, the matter is looked at again, all the evidence is taken into account, and maybe there's a different outcome. Maybe it's the same outcome, but the consumer understands why that is the case. So we are involved literally almost on a daily basis in consumer education campaigns. So we have people in the office who go out and interact with consumers, whether it is at exhibitions, shopping malls, other consumer education activities. We have media campaigns, we write press releases, we go on radio, television, we have our social media campaigns on Facebook. All of this we try to interact with consumers to give them more information, because I think that is what it's all about, to try and educate the consumers, first of all, about their rights, about banking matters generally, what they must do, what they must look out for, what they must not do, but also that there's an office like ours where they can come and ask questions and complain free of charge. There's so many consumers who do not know about our office and the services we offer, so that is why we do have these campaigns. So we accept all complaints from individuals about their banking issues with their banks, but we also accept business complaints. So that is a small business, the small and medium enterprises. So if their turnover is less than 10 million per annum, and that is what we classify as a small business, we accept those complaints as well. Obviously, large companies, businesses, they do have the means to go to lawyers and to sort out their own issues either in court or through their lawyers. But for the average consumer and the small businesses, we are here free of charge. So a lot of people want to know what they must do to contact us and to submit a complaint. It's quite simple. We try and really make it easy. We always say to consumers that they must first contact the bank and tell the bank about their problem. But for some people, they find it difficult, or they don't know how to complain. They don't quite know what their rights are, so they actually want to speak to us. So we help those people. We've got a very well-trained call centre that they can contact. The call centre is available. They can even ask the call centre to phone them back if they don't have money on their phones. And the call centre agents will phone them back and hear their story and give them advice. We can also submit the complaint to the bank for you. Some consumers do it themselves, and then they come to us afterwards if they're not happy with the outcome, and then we start investigating. But for some people, they find that difficult, and then we will do it for you and send your complaint to the bank to see if you can resolve it between yourself and the bank first. We have a website, a lot of information on our website for people who are interested, and we also have an email, and we've got agents sitting there in front of the inbox, and they will answer those emails on a daily basis, so they can also email us. Other way to contact us is also to write to us. We still receive post, and we also have a fax number. So any way that you can get hold of us is good enough, and we will accept a complaint, whether it's telephonically, in writing, emails. The website, for example, there's an online login, and you can submit the complaint online and just press submit, and we have it immediately. So we only have one office, and that's this office here in Illovo in Sandton. And maybe I can just also explain that we found that very few people actually want to come and see us at the office. It does happen from time to time that we have consumers who just arrive, and we assist those consumers. They don't have to make an appointment. But generally, people are quite happy that they don't have to come to the office, and they can just phone us, and we can assist them over the phone, or like, these days on the internet, by sending emails forwards and backwards. They don't want to actually spend the time and money to come and visit us if they can do it all over the phone or the internet. So that's why, at the moment we only have this one office, but we are available on so many other channels. I would like to say to the consumers out there that banking is not an easy, uncomplicated matter. Once you start doing banking, maybe from a young age, you should teach yourself about what this is all about, because you enter into a contract with the bank, and your money is important. So you need to understand what you are doing. You need to understand the terms and conditions of your contract with the bank. We find that people never read the contracts, and only when there's a problem do they read, for example, what they were supposed to do in the first place. People don't read what interest rates they're going to pay, and then they're surprised one day when they see their statements. So my advice for any consumer is understand what the banking is all about. Understand your contract. It's no different from any other contract that you sign. yes, the bank has got certain responsibilities as well. And if you want to see what those responsibilities are, I mean, on their websites, there's a banking code. All the banks have a lot of nice information on their websites. Read up about it. But it is irresponsible to enter into banking contracts and agreements and do banking, sometimes with large amounts, without understanding what you're getting yourself into, what your rights and responsibilities are. Once you understand, I think it can be really a good thing, and once you know how to use the banking technology, I think it will be so much better for any person.